apologize for the late and okay, just a minute. F5, sorry. Today I want to speak to you about a very small subject, how we could change the world. And I'm Daniel Weill, I'm a social entrepreneur, and I'm running an organization named TOM, Tikkun Olam Makers. The challenge that we are facing with is a challenge of people with disabilities. I want to have a quick questionnaire and ask you how many of you know in person person with a disability? Please raise your hand. Okay, that's quite a lot of people. And as we know, it's one of the most significant and difficult problems that we are facing today. One of the facts that really blow my mind is that of 70 million people who needs a wheelchair in the world, only between 5 to 15% have one. That means that between 85 to 95% of the people that need a wheelchair don't get it. This is Yun. Yun lives in a rural part of Vietnam. Sorry. And since he born, his muscles are very weak, and what happens is that his mother is holding him almost all the time. Why there is no solution for such challenges? We are not a communist anymore, yeah? We believe in a free market, in an open market, in something that the market should open. And still, in a very big number of these challenges, of the challenges of people with disabilities, we don't have that solution. There is two main causes to this problem. One of them is that many times, because the solution or the problem are very unique, the market is quite small, so it's not worth for companies or for entrepreneurs to invest their time and to find a solution for that. The other part of that, that even if you invest the time and you make and you find the solution, the price point, because it was so complicated to create it, the price will exclude many of the people who need that solution. And what we want to change it, and we will change it. And if I will manage to work with this computer, so I will show you also how. So it's not so sure. Opa. מה זה?
תעשה קליק ימני על הקובץ ותעשה את זה open ומישהו יכול להגיד לנו ברוסית מה זה.
תפתח, תנסה את זה רגע. את זה.
זה?
כן, זה. את החלון הזה. עד לפה תעשה VLC. בדיוק.
נפתח.
Wow. Unbelievable. אין לו פה, רגע. כן. כן.
בחורה מתרגמת דיברה איתך?
כן. I'm not sure how many of you managed to find me on the movie, but I was there at the back. So what you saw now is a movie. It's a Kim story. No, there was no people who needs translation here.
Он English. When is it English?
А есть кто не понимает, да?
Я просто спросила в начале лекции о том, понимают ли все английский.
Давай.
Окей, да.
Все честно сказали да.
Да, все.
Okay.
The answer means that everybody understands, so.
Maybe so you better sit with her and translate to her. It will be smarter. Yep. So we will change it, and I show you what we are doing. And what we're doing is we do a makeathon like what you saw now in the movie in San Francisco. We do it all over the world. Our challenge is to reach to 250 million people around the world. The processing that we are doing with these makeathons is not enough to get the solution to all the people that we want to reach to them. So what can we do, or how we do it? I want to describe now what we are doing in order to solve this problem.
Why 250,000?
So we calculate the number of the people that suffering with disabilities and have no answer, and we found what is the number that will make a critical change in the world through that. And this is a number that we reach to. And so I want you to meet the makers. Makers are the people who know, in Israel sometimes the real word for them are moshavnikim. People who know to work in their hands. They know to work with metal, they know to work with wood, they know to work with fabric, some of them with all of these tools, and some of them with a part of those tools. And the makers are also know how to use in 3D printers, in sensors, in software, that these are the new technologies that come only in the last 6 or 5 years that became common and cheap in the world, and we try to take these makers and combine them with the need knower. We don't call the people now people with disabilities. We call them need knower. And the reason why we call them the need knower, because they are the world experts for their problem. There is no one in the world that knows better than them how to solve their own problems. And that's why we combine between the makers and the need knowers. And now I will explain a little bit more about the process, how we do this magic of creating the solution for such a big numbers of people. So we start with what we call for talent and call for challenge. With the call for talent, what we are doing, we publishing the idea of we are going to do an event, and then we're asking for people that they have the abilities, such as makers, designers, software programming, and so on, to register. In the other hand, we also do a call for talent. Call for challenge. Call for challenge are the people with the disabilities that they are writing a form about what they need, what they want to change in their life, how they want to have a better life, and we receive a lot of application, such as I want to move from my power chair to a regular chair, or I want to flip pages in my book but I can't move my hand, or I want to have a wheelchair, or many others like that. The second stage is a pre-tom. In the pre-tom is the first meeting point between the people with the disabilities and the people with the knowledge, or as we call them, the makers. And they are meeting together and they're sitting on the same round table and try to design and think about the initial first solutions, how we could solve the problem. It's very important at that stage, and we demonstrated that one of our biggest principles is nothing about us without us. It's not we are talking above their heads, or we will do like that or like that or like that. We're sitting together with them and create solutions for their needs. The third part is TOM. TOM is a 72 hours event event when the magic is happened. You just saw one of the events in San Francisco, and there was a lot more than that. I will get to that later on. But in those 72 intense hours, we managed to achieve stages that sometimes in companies takes between 6 to 8 months. And after these 72 hours, we are reaching to a stage that we have a prototype that could solve the problems. After we have the prototype, it's still not enough. We have this challenge of the 250 million people. So what we have, the fourth stage of our process is developers group. They are the makers and the need knowers. They keep meeting once a week, and they transform the solutions that create in the Makeathon from a prototype to a product file, just like IKEA. As you know, and I reckon some of you bought IKEA products, and you have a very specific manual how to build the IKEA things. So we also prepare for the prototypes that develops in the Makeathon such a menu. Then we reach to the fourth stage. The fourth stage is a marketplace. We actually won just last month in a big competition in New York. We won $250,000 US in order to create this marketplace. In this marketplace, we take all the solutions that create and the explanation of how to build them, and we upload them to the online. But still, we didn't find the solution for the last and the most difficult stage. This is a dissemination. The dissemination, that means how after we create the solutions and we have them on the online, there is still a huge gap between the fact that they are online to the fact that how a person with a disability could receive this solution. So part of what we are doing with that is an education. Some of you remember that about 20 or 25 years ago, there was a huge computers lab in schools, and they are quite abandoned. Today, there is a huge challenge of how we train the future generation for unknown professionals. We know that 60% of the students today will work in the professionals that don't exist yet or didn't invent. So how you train your students for such a challenge? What we are doing is we're taking what we know about that. We know that the skills that we see in Tom event, such as innovation, team working, co-creating, thinking out of the box, will be super relevant in the new world professionals. And then what we are doing, we combine that, and we're developing a unique pedagogical curricula based on the combination of the cutting-edge technology that we are using in the Tom events, and the social impact that, of course, it's a core component in our efforts, and also it's a core component, of course, in what we want, in the way we want to educate our new generation. We also do a teacher training and a program in many schools, and we give them that ability and knowledge. And then we're implementing the Tom unique methodology to create unforgettable educational events and experience. This is, for example, what we did in Schechter Westchester. It's a Jewish school in New York City. And there the students create solutions that before that they took prototypes that developed in other places and create from the prototypes that developed in the previous Makeathons, they created solutions for the people in their own neighborhood. Here you could see a project that we did in a high school in Netanya, and there the girls create a guitar for a student that he couldn't move his hand. So they create a guitar with a laser cutter and Arduino, and they replace the string with the buttons. And at the end, you just go and they play on this guitar with a ceremony. I also want to demonstrate this story in another product that we create. We call it the grabber. Interesting. Okay, very interesting. So I will show you, hopefully, the Kim that you saw in the previous video. how do I play it? Could you stay here because there is another one soon?
Ну, это работало только что. Сейчас это не работает. Окей.
Не работа. Работа. Oh, this is not the right one. Okay, so what we are seeing here is that the project that we develop in San Francisco, Kim, she's a secretary in Sacramento, and she sent us her video how she working with these tools that developed by Alex, that he is a Jew-Russian supermaker. That movie was seen by Ilana, that she lives in Jerusalem, and she saw that solution, and she said, okay, this is really great, and I can use it for my daughter. And I will use it for my daughter. My daughter is studying in university, and she have a different problem. She couldn't type on her computer. So what she said, okay, I can take what Alex developed in San Francisco to help Kim and help my daughter to type on her laptop. And we developed that in Jerusalem in 12 hours. Then another member of the community, Sefi, that he wounded during his army service, he saw that solution and he said, okay, I could use it for a totally different purpose, and he did it for so just the same tool gave him the opportunity to play with his own little girl. So the same solutions that develop in different places in the world could help, yeah, where, okay, could help, yes, could be useful in many, many different places or different use case. What that start as a small or at the beginning of a project grow very fast and create a partnerships with almost most of the biggest multinationals. There was a big partnerships with Google, Intel, Philips, all the companies are doing with 3D printers such as Stratasys, MakerBot, and so on. They're all find it super relevant for what they need, and it's growing in more and more places in the world. In the 2.5 years, we have 31 big events, such as what you saw in San Francisco. We work in 29 different cities. We have more than 2,000 makers and more than almost 300 projects that document and could be, and they're ready to go online. This is a map of the activities. And the reason, and one of the purposes that I came here, that I want to keep growing this activity to Ukraine. And actually, we are looking for local partners that want to take that idea and take it to other parts of Ukraine and start doing it in the former Soviet Union. So, thank you very much. I appreciate the fact that you survive all the technical challenges, and thank you. Yes, of course.
Do you have any products that move to mass production?
So we don't have yet products that move to mass production. We have about 6 startup companies that starts through our Makeathon, and they start develop different kind of products, such as smart combine cockers that collect data about how you move and give you a recommendation for a treatment, such as eye control, that help, many products that start to develop. Even though another challenge on that subject that we're working on open IP. So one of the on the license, when we are starting to do our project, the participants sign on a contract that what they develop will be open to the public. So in many times it's difficult to keep doing commercial startups through that. But still there is a few companies that came out of it. Yes, and then, okay, after that.
I was wondering where the funding is coming from. I didn't understand.
So there was, first of all, is a challenge that we are facing. We have a few, we won a few competition that we get quite a lot of money. We have a Schusterman Foundation that support us. We got a big amount of money from Google 2 years ago.
For actually producing the equipment, or for?
No, for what we do for creating the whole environment. To create the equipment, we have there is a spaces that we call them a maker space. Actually, we're building now a collaboration with WeWork, the biggest maker space in Israel. It's going to be 1,000 square meter, and it will open at the end of at the middle of November. It will be in the Rehov Zerem, next to Bloomfield Stadium, and Adam Neumann, the founder of WeWork, will be open it together with us, and there we will be able to produce small batch of numbers of solutions for specific challenges that we will have.
You should approach, by the way, JVP in Jerusalem. You know them, right?
Yeah, I know them, of course. Their focus is a little bit different. They less focus on hardware. They more focus on software. That's why but of course we will appreciate any link. And this is part of the answer to your question. The second part that we're still trying to work on what exactly the business model that we are going to grow through.
Question about, do you use 3D printing when you manufacturing your products, and where you buy где закупают сырье для компьютеров? В Украине где закупают сырье для компьютеров? Потому что в Украине оно достаточно дешевое.
Where do you get
Product for 3D printer.
from what do you print when using 3D printer? Where do you get?
I'm not sure I understood.
Materials.
Okay, we call it filament. Your question is what the material that used in the 3D printer in order to create solution.
Because in Ukraine you shouldn't buy. Because
It's the
In Ukraine we have some kind of cheap, this material is cheap in Ukraine, I guess.
there is a few kind of 3D printers. Okay, there is a plastic 3D printers that there is a common and the cheaper one, and probably that's what you're talking. There is also 3D printers that could print in Geves, I don't know the word in English, and there is a 3D printers in metal. So there is many different kind of materials and solutions, and it's also a revolution that we are just in the start of it. We don't know yet where it will be. There is already whole houses that printed in China. So the opportunity of the technology of what we could achieve in the future is mind-blowing. Yes.
Do you have any project that relates to mental disabilities rather than physical?
Great that you ask. So we have in April, we're going to have a make-a-thon that will be devoted to veterans. And there we're going to focus on a few challenges. We'll be focused with veterans with PTSD, post-traumatic syndrome. So we're going to find that. We didn't handle that yet, but it's special. It's exactly what we strive to. We also, and it may be interesting for the Israeli participant, we also have in 2 weeks from now, we have a hackathon in Odessa hospitals, together with them, with a doctor there, and we're going to work with their rehabilitation process and
You're doing a great job.
Spasiba. Thank you.